Hi everyone. Today we're going to go over the Datasets workspace. This is where you can do some advanced filtering based on nearly any element within your project, and you can create little subsets of data within your larger project. So the first step is to select your Datasets workspace. Once you do so, this data selector pop-up box will appear for you, and just know that you can maximize that window by clicking and dragging in the lower right-hand corner. There are a few different areas within this workspace that I want to go over before we do some example filtering. So first, along the top here, you have the different elements that you can filter by. So you have descriptors, media, users, and codes. Just below that, you have your current dataset area. This is giving you a breakdown of what items in your project are currently active, meaning that you can see them, interact with them, and do further analysis. So right now, it's 100% of all of my project elements because we have not applied a filter yet. You'll also see two buttons below, so clear current set and save current set. If you wanted to activate all data in your project and make sure that you're seeing your complete data set, all you have to do is hit that clear current set button and Dedoose will activate everything for you. Now, if you go through and you create a subset of data by applying a filter and you don't want to go through that process each time, you can come here and click Save Current Set so that you don't have to go through that work again, and those saved data sets will be located in the panel below. You can title it, include a description, and then you'll also see who created that data set and when. Lastly, this current set excerpts area is giving you a breakdown of qualitative data currently within the set. If you wanted to, you could also click in and do further coding from this workspace as well. Next, let's go through different examples of elements you can filter on. So we have our descriptors tab here, and you'll see a complete database of all descriptor profiles in your project. So you'll see each profile for each participant is a row here, and this is all of their descriptor information. So everything that's not qualitative. On the left, wherever you see a columns panel in Dedoose, this is allowing you to adjust your view of what you're viewing in that database. So this does not filter this information out, it just adjusts your view. So if you didn't care to see the ID numbers, for example, you can uncheck that box and that will no longer be a column in the database. Just below that is your filters panel, and this will be really useful for some shortcuts with filtering. You'll also see an activate all button and deactivate all button that you can use to swap between the two. So let's say we wanted to create a subset of data where we were only looking at women in this sample. The first step that you can take is hit the deactivate all button. What this does is it excludes all descriptor profiles from your dataset. This is a good tactic to use just to make sure that you have the appropriate filter applied, because then you can choose what you want activated. And I'm going to use our filters area to do that. So I'm going to go to filters. Here we see all of our descriptor categories. We want to isolate women in the project, so I'm going to select women, and you'll see we have 30 descriptor profiles here associated with women, and now I can hit activate all. So that will activate those 30 descriptor profiles for women in the project. We can always double check our work by going back to that dataset tab and then looking at the current dataset. So we see 30 out of 146 descriptors, and that's correct. So we'd only be seeing women in the project, and that means we would only be viewing 126 out of 667 excerpts total. You'll also notice that when you create a subset of data, when you apply a filter, the Datasets tab is going to be glowing white with red font. This is to alert you that you're only seeing a subset of your data and not the full data set. So from here, if we wanted to save this set, we can hit that button. I'm going to title this Women Only, and I'll include a description of example. And again, it's going to give you a breakdown. So we're not filtering out any other collaborators from the project or any codes or media. We're just filtering on those descriptors. Then I can hit submit. And then you'll see that data set is saved for us below, and we can load it up just by clicking on it and then selecting the load button. Okay, let's do another example where we're filtering out the qualitative data. So we're going to go to our media tab here. And again, you're going to see the columns, and this would adjust your view, and then your filters below. So all of your descriptor categories that you can filter on. And again, we can choose how we want to go about filtering out and or activating certain data over others. So again, you could hit that deactivate all button to clear out everything and then choose what you want activated, or you could do the opposite and select what you would want deactivated. So in this case, let's do the same example. Let's say we want to filter out men. So I'm going to go to gender, select men, see 113 pieces of media associated with men here, and then I can hit deactivate all. So I would be deactivating those 113 pieces of qualitative data. Again, we can go back and check our work. So here we see we'd only be viewing 29 out of our 142 pieces of qualitative data in the project. Now, this is very important. If you want to clear out the descriptor profiles associated with those men as well, you need to do both. So media will clear out the qualitative data, but if you wanted to filter out the descriptors as well, you would need to do that in the descriptor area. So here I can choose men and then deactivate all. So now when I go back to our dataset tab, we see that we have 31 descriptors and 29 pieces of qualitative data. And again, this is a survey, so this is telling us 2 people did not fill out the qualitative portion. You can also filter out other collaborators' work from your view. So this is really great if you're working in a large team and you want to focus in on only your coding. So you can go to users, you're going to see everyone that is a part of the project. You can hit deactivate all and then choose the folks that you want to see. So in this case, I can choose myself. And then if I were to go back to the qualitative data, I would only see the coding that I did in the project and no one else's. And then you can do some quick comparisons. You can also filter out codes. So this is great to do before you go to different analysis charts. So if you wanted to, for example, create a very specific code co-occurrence chart, you can do so by coming to your dataset workspace and filtering some codes. So I'm going to filter none and then choose some codes here. And again, I'm going to go back to that dataset workspace area to check my work. So here we have descriptors filtered, our resources, aka media. We're only going to be seeing 2 users, 12 codes, and that means 62 excerpts total. So I can exit out of this data selector, and then anywhere I go in Dedoose, you're only going to be seeing that subset of data. You'll also see a new icon whenever you have a filter activated. It's this little funnel, and this allows you to toggle the filter on and off. So if you wanted to see your full data set, you could. So right now we have a condensed code co-occurrence chart only for those select codes, but if I wanted to see the full data set, I can click on that funnel icon, and then we see our full coding scheme here. And whenever you're done for the day with your filters, I always recommend going back to that datasets workspace hitting clear current set to make sure all of your items and all pieces of data are activated for you.